Hi, I'm Alex More da Luz. I'm the Nature Recovery Officer for the Dedham Vale AONB and Suffolk Coast and Heaths AONB. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about some of the things that you can do recreationally in the Stour Valley. We're down at Catawade picnic site at the moment, and this is a really good portage point. And there's some canoeists in the background at the moment actually, and you can come and paddle your way up to Flatford or go a bit further up into Dedham. This is a place that you can come and fish as well. So you know it gets busier over the weekend. It's quieter throughout the week, so it's a really good place to come and enjoy the river at your own pace. And it's a really good location for seeing wildlife as well. I mean, if you go out on the river, there'll be some common things that you'll almost certainly see. You know, you'll see moorhens and mute swans. But if you paddle up towards Flatford, you may get some rarer species. I mean, things like marsh harrier can be seen flying over because it backs onto the RSPB's Catawade Marshes Nature Reserve, which is actually a really important nature reserve for birds. It has the highest population of breeding lapwing in North Essex, and 10% of the entire wintering population of birds on the estuary will make their way to Catawade Marshes, so it's actually a really good place for spotting wildlife. If you catch the water here at the right time, it can be really clear, as it is now actually, and so it's definitely worth having a look in the water as you're paddling, and you can see lots of different types of fish. Keep an eye out for pike, roach and perch, and also some of the birds that are around on the fringes looking out for fish and amphibians. And if you're really lucky, you may catch a glimpse of a water vole. Often it's about trying to spot the signs of them, and that can help you get an understanding of where they're likely to be. And you'll see little piles of vegetation where they've been eating at a 45-degree angle. If you're even luckier still, you could catch a glimpse of an otter. Otters have made a resurgence in the last 10-15 years or so, and they are doing a lot better than they used to be, which is great news. They are very difficult to spot, and again, the signs of otters are easier to see than the otters themselves. But there are locations further upstream where otters are regularly spotted. Up near Ballingdon Bridge in Sudbury is a good example. So behind me you've got the White Bridge and Catawade Marshes. This land was taken over by the RSPB in 2005, and it's basically grazing marsh, grassland and ditches, and it's triple SI, and it's really important for breeding lapwing and breeding red shank. And there's a public footpath that I'm standing on now that's a really good place to walk along, and where you can see some of the birds and wildlife that comes to Catawade Marshes.
Hi, welcome to Foxearth Meadows. I'm Mark Prina and I'm the reserve manager here, working for a charity, Rocha UK. We're a Christian conservation charity, and our aim is to engage Christians and people with a love for nature. So this piece of land is 12 acres of River Stour floodplain meadow. This pond is one of the important features on the reserve for dragonflies, and it's dragonflies and damselflies that have always been the focus of the conservation efforts on this site, and we continue that to this day. Here we've got one of the loveliest views on the site, imaginatively called Big Pond, because it is the biggest water body on the site, and again it's a fantastic habitat for breeding dragonflies, which can be seen spring, summer through to the autumn. It's also a favourite spot for our art days that we have here. So we get people sort of drawing and painting the scenery of the meadows, and this is one of the favourite views that we've got. In 2018 we had this 130 metre boardwalk installed, a partnership with Essex County Council. It has the effect of keeping the footpath, which bisects the site, open all year round. The middle of the meadows will flood, so this maintains that access. It is recycled plastic. I wouldn't like to estimate how many thousands of or millions of plastic bottles it took to make this. There's all sorts of plastic compacted into this. If you come here in July and August, you will see a riot of colour here. It's absolutely magnificent, and I do urge you to come and have a look at the meadows in their full glory when the late summer wetland plants are flowering. When you walk across the boardwalk, stop a while in the middle by the tall vegetation, the reed mace and the phalaris canary grass, because you will hear the warblers and the reed buntings and the breeding birds, the breeding summer visitors in the wetland. It can be an absolute delight. So I'd urge you, if you like bird song, to come and just stand and listen and watch. Behind me you can see our resident Dexter cattle. So that's Mars and Wanda. They're here really because somebody wanted somewhere to graze them, but they benefit us because they're part of our management of the grassland. But as well as being part of the scientific approach to managing the site, they're also a delightful addition, being extremely well behaved. No trip to the meadows would be complete without coming and having a look at the River Stour, on a particularly, we think, beautiful stretch of that river. It's a fantastic habitat for breeding fish, invertebrates, and also breeding birds, as well as reed warblers will also use the river to nest in. So come and just enjoy the peace and tranquility of this stretch of the river.
As you walk one of the area's many circular or linear walks, you'll be taken off the beaten track into some classic English landscape. You'll see delightful undulating scenery and a great variety of natural habitat, with many excellent viewpoints across quiet, unspoiled countryside. Many walks will take you along meandering riverside paths, dappled in light from cricket-backed willows and ancient pollarded willows, which drape over the river as cows and sheep graze the sweet lush grass. Look out for the flash of blue of the Kingfisher as it darts along looking for small fish, or the majestic dragonflies which fly around the river's edge. Listen for the plop of the water vole as it jumps into the river, or the sound of the elusive cuckoo in early summer. If you're quiet, you might even see an otter family playing in the river, or a hare or roe deer as you walk through the small, hedge-lined fields where the trill of the skylark can be heard. In spring, woodlands will be a haze of blue from the bluebells, and in summer, the beautiful flower-rich pastures will be full of colourful flowers such as knapweed, field scabious and bird's-foot trefoil, all buzzing with the sound of insect life. You may even spot barn owls hunting, especially towards dusk.
In this film, we've explored just some of the places in the Stour Valley where visitors can come to experience nature and get close to wildlife. For more information about visiting these places, as well as other nature reserves, country parks and woodlands, please go to www.dedhamvalestourvalley.org/visiting, where you can view and download our Nature in the Stour Valley leaflet guide.